So cute.
Me and my friend John were just talking. We're huge fans of the movies Ed Wood, and we love your line, "No water, no liquids."
That's so funny. You know what's funny about that line? When I met Quentin Tarantino at a party, he came up to me. I was getting a drink, and he said, "No water, no liquids." I'm terribly. And I actually didn't register. I thought, well, why are you saying that? And he said, "Doesn't that?" And I was thinking, that sounds familiar. And then he looked at me. He goes, "It's your dialogue." I said, "Oh my God," because he has a photographic memory. So it was the way I met Quentin Tarantino was over that line.
Wow.
Okay, so when did you find out about this project, and how did you get involved with it?
Sure. You want to start? Sure. Probably almost, I'd say, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. Actually, Amber and Chris reached out to me and said that they were interested in doing it, and would I be interested in coming and coming to play? And I said, yeah, I'd love to come and play. So I think it was that far back. You're probably...
My gosh, it's interesting for me to hear all these answers to today as well. I found out earlier this year, only a couple months ago, really. I think maybe a month before we started recording, I found out about the project. And it really came randomly as like an email in my inbox. And I didn't know too much about the Buffyverse, but I was looking at my email, I was like, of course I want to be a part of it. And I was just grateful that Amber, Christopher, and Casey were so wonderful. Yeah, it's been a lovely journey thus far.
Did you have to audition, or was there, what was that process like?
Yeah, I was very lucky because Casey had found me via another project that I had done. So it was a straight offer, which was like a dream. You wish and hope for those things as you're on this like ladder of getting better as an actor. And so again, it was like, maybe even if I didn't know too much about the Buffyverse, it was just so exciting to get an opportunity like that. And also as an actor too, you always wonder who's actually watching, and that's the truth. You never know who's looking at your stuff. You never know who knows your name, even that Quentin Tarantino story, you know? So yeah, this was like an extension of that.
I met an actress yesterday who did a movie from 10 years ago and then got a job 10 years later from someone seeing that movie, and it was one of those things where it just randomly sort of came to be. So yeah,
it's beautiful.
You come from a voice acting background. You played the little sisters, I know, on BioShock, and I'm curious if you think this is the way, with the strike and all that going, voice acting roles, kind of that in between things.
Well, I mean, I have a huge theater background, and obviously I've done a lot of film and television and a lot of voiceover. And yes, the Little Sisters is a really fun character, but it was terrific that we could work during the strike and when we need to support what's going on, because it's needs to happen.
I think it's a very fine line, of course what we're able to do and also supporting our union as well. Grateful to Audible and this project specifically that we can talk about it and embrace it, but also at the same time, like Juliet was saying, knowing also where we stand as actors and part of the SAG.
So Juliet, you created Drusilla. Did you find that there was something new that you could bring, or something that you wanted to infuse into Drusilla in this new media? Just through voice, now that you're really just doing it through voice?
That's a great question. The character of Drusilla is so rife with contradictions, and she's such a delicate character, but she's diabolical. She's childlike, but she's sensual. She's, ethereal, but she's very powerful. And that's one of the things that I've loved about playing the character, is how much dimension and range there is in the role. I think in this particular material, it's interesting because Drusilla is not an appendage. She's not subservient to anyone, and she really drives a lot of the action. And Drusilla has such a huge heart, and so she is really full of love, even though she's exceedingly damaged as well, obviously.
2-minute warning. So a couple more questions. Last question.
Gosh, this flew by.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Your character plays such an integral role introducing taking this universe to a new generation. Did you feel that responsibility as you headed into this project? What has it been like for you to be embraced by this community and fandom?
It's meant everything to me. I mean, one, to be able to play a character like Indira, because she really is representing the fans, you know. A lot of even her passion and fiery attitude is stemming from a place of just love for the entire world in the Buffyverse. So I'm not sure if I felt pressure, but definitely there were nerves before starting. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Christopher, Amber, and Casey were so welcoming from the beginning, and it was just the cherry on top to kind of be able to witness how incredibly talented this cast is, but also that they were so open from the very beginning. Thank you.
How does it take you to get into character for like voiceovers? Like you said, like your character is so many different ways. Like how do you warm up to the scene? Do you like do it at home?
I mean, for me, I don't think so differently with voice acting, theater, or film. I mean, obviously each medium is different and has its craft and its technique, and obviously if it's movies and it's a close-up is different than being on stage, but really the work that goes into it for me is very similar, and it's really about making a well-rounded character and grounding that character. So even though I'm playing a vampire, to me it's all the human elements that I'm interested in, and that hopefully make her a relatable character and a character that you're pulling for even though she's the villain, and that is likable even though she's doing some really nefarious things. So I think it's for me it's always about being as prepped as possible so that then I can be free and spontaneous in the moment.
Seems like you have fun with that character.
Thank you. So we have to rotate. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. It's like